Look, it's not easy to get your head around all the things that goes into a site feasibility study. Before you even started with your design options, you gotta get as much planning and documentation and zoning context gathered and digested for your team as possible. Otherwise, you're kind of just designing sky castles, right? Let me show you how I get my bearings for a new site feasibility study. We're going to explore a densification play in an urban site in Nottingham in the UK. If you're an architect or a planner local to the area watching this, reach out to me and tell me if there's anything you think I should consider or should add, and we'll do a follow-up. So we're looking at a site in the southern part of Nottingham city centre. It's a focus area for regeneration based on their 2018 planning documentation. We're looking at a rapidly expanding city with 1.1 million workforce citizens. There's a growing creative industry there and a lot of activity. There's 2 universities, so lots of students. And I'm thinking we'll find a good site for a mixed-use program and develop that. So let's get started by getting all of this documentation sorted and print it out and put it into our binders and start reading. I'm just kidding. We're going to set up our project in a common data environment. Autodesk Docs, soon to be Forma data management. We're going to put on a name. We're going to leave location open for now, where we'll add relevant information later on as we go. For now, I just need an area to drag and drop all my relevant research into. Let's make sure to activate the Docs module and to activate the Forma module to start with that, as that's where we'll gather our thoughts first. Drag, drop, upload. At least now I'm confident that all stakeholders on this project will have access to the same information. But we're not really digesting it yet. So we're going to start by doing a pin-up with my general thoughts.
But before we get into the board, let me introduce the project. So this is Sheriff Street, Sheriff's Way. It's a triangular site that has a program that's mostly offices in the north. And then it has an intersecting street that I probably want to do something with. In the south, we're facing residential, so there's probably going to be more of a residential program in the south. It's a mixed-use site, clearly some traffic challenges, but it'll be interesting to see what we can do with it here. So some of the key policies that we need to keep in mind while designing here is maximize the potential of the site is a prerogative. That's good. We need to build an appropriate scale, density, and design a use that sort of regenerates the area. Again, this is a brownfield site, so we're going to see where we can go with this. And this is part of the creative quarter. So we're going to maximize opportunities for reuse of existing buildings. We are going to look for new housing situation, mixed housing. We're going to try to improve linkages, so there's a connection between the different things. Furthermore, we need to consider the designable design. We're looking at energy efficient buildings, so embodied carbon, solar panels, that stuff is going to be relevant in the future. We've got a BREEAM assessment, very good. That's the requirement, minimum. So BREEAM is going to play in here. And then there's some local sustainability metrics like the National Housing Standard we need to consider as well. So we'll see and keep that in mind, keep it on the board so we don't forget as we keep exploring. The last policy we need to keep in mind is the design criteria in which it will be considered against. So we're looking at something that respects and enhances the streetscape and the local environment. We need a satisfactory level of amenities. So I'm thinking that the ground floor is going to be an important design experience. We're looking at daylight, sunlight, privacy, outlook, scale and massing, security, dust and noise. So all of these analyses, which we can do in Forma, is going to be very relevant here. Community safety, crime prevention. There's something that's anti-social spaces, which is something we'll touch upon later. We're looking at safe and convenient use, access around buildings. So there's a lot of things sort of to bite into here, especially since it's a triangle site covered by roadways on all sides. And again, we're looking at principles of sustainability and design, renewable resources, So it's going to be good to keep all these in one place. So that's what we're going to do in board here. So I've put on the site itself and the relevant local plans, the BREEAM guides, the planning policies relevant for the site. So this is a good place for me to just add in every one of these points related to the site that we need to keep in mind as we start designing. Kind of populate this out. Really just filling the board with everything relevant right now. It's a mind dump, right? And then we are gonna sketch on top of the map just to remind ourselves of what the actual program of the site is. So we remember that up in the north side of the site, let's go with a purple up here. We're looking at more of a primarily offices, light industry, creative stuff. So let's just roughly zone out the top to be sort of a mixed use, more formal, more office-like. That's going to go down to this intersecting street. Below, there's going to be room for some small scale retail and some other mixed use food and drink. So it's going to be sort of a living area. Now in the south, we are heading towards this residential area. So that's going to be a softer, a calmer, a more private area. And these two things are going to be covered here. And then we'll keep in mind that there's an intersection in the middle here between, which I ideally want to downgrade into something that's just an access road. And then lastly, sort of the big implicator here is that we're probably going to be seeing a lot of traffic on every side of this, including a tramway on the south.
This should be enough to get the ball rolling and the conversation started. And I know what you're thinking, it doesn't really have the polish that architects usually present. But trust me, most of the work in our studios is a bloody mess, and then the polish comes later. Now all that remains is to bring this to the team and get their take on it, and let's see where we go from there, right?